Hi and welcome to the Crochet Circle. My name is Alex and in today's video I want to show you how to crochet a letter U. I'm gonna begin with sketching it out. So at the bottom I'm gonna have a base of chain of 14. Then I'm gonna do some extensions on the left and on the right side. Then I'm gonna continue on the left side till I finish up to row number 30, and then I'm gonna start on the right side and again just go up till row number 30. It's gonna be made of two parts, so the first part is the bottom part and the left side. Part 2 is gonna be the right side. And I think I can begin. I'm gonna leave that here just for you to see. I have my 2.5 millimeter hook today, and I have some orange scrap yarn. So the beginning is chain of 14. 14 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Now the first row calls for increases at the beginning and the end. An increase meaning just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And if you didn't notice it, I did an extra chain just to go up into the next row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the end of the first row, I'm gonna have 16 stitches. Now that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I have the last stitch being an increase. So that means just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And I have 16 stitches. I'm gonna do a chain 1 again just to go up into the next row. The first row, the first stitch is an increase, then single crochets, and the last stitch will again be an increase stitch. That means I'm gonna do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. At the end of row number 2, I'm gonna have 18 stitches. Now I need to make 5 rows of increasing in the beginning at the end. Now I'm at the last stitch, meaning I'm gonna do an increase, just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Row number 2 is done. Now I'm on row number 3 again. The first stitch is an increase, and then single crochet till the last stitch, where the last stitch will again be an increase. At the end of row number 3, I'm gonna have 20 stitches. I'm at the last stitch, meaning an increase, just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now I've done 3 rows like this. I need still to do 2 more. So the first stitch is an increase and then single crochets till the end, and the last stitch will be an increase again. The last stitch, an increase. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows like this done. I'm up to row number 5. Again, an increase in the beginning, single crochets in the middle, and an increase at the end. I'm at the last stitch. That means I need to do an increase, just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows done. Now rows number 6 and 7 are gonna be just single crochets. I'm doing a chain 1 again just to go up into the next row, and now just single crochets from start to finish. And I need 2 rows like that. And row number 7 again, just single crochets from start to finish. I think the letter U is one of the easiest letters that you have to do, because it's done only in 2 parts and it doesn't have many increases and decreases. So now this is the bottom part done. I'm gonna go up to row number 30, but I need the first row of those 23 rows to do is 7 single crochets and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a decrease. For a decrease from the first stitch, I'm only taking the front loop. From the second stitch, I'm taking both loops. Now I'm pulling the yarn through, and that's it. Now I need 22 more rows of just 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And again, just 8 single crochets If you're using a row counter, you can use it if you have a personal assistant next to you who's gonna keep track of the number of rows you've done. That's perfectly fine as well. Or you can use a piece of paper, or you can do as I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do quite a lot of rows, and then I'm gonna count them and just see where I am and how many I still have to do. All together, don't forget, I have to go we, me, you, everybody who's doing this letter has to go up to row number 30. I'm just gonna double check if I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. I still have 8 single crochets in a row, so that means I'm doing a single crochet in a single crochet of the previous row. I don't have any increases and I don't definitely have any decreases, so I'm still on track going up to row number 30. I know I heard few times that I'm doing way too fast the chain 1 of going up into the next row, but I just want to tell you it's much easier to do chain 1 now and turn the work around as doing it on this side. And a chain 1 is a chain 1, so as long as you do it, you have this nice step up into the next row. I'm gonna count the rows. So this was my 7th row. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I need exactly 10 more rows to go. And then part 1 of the letter U will be done. I'm just gonna double check if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 stitches. That's perfect. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I need 6 more rows, so I'm on row number 25 now. row number 26, row number 27, (28), (29), and row number 30, and the last stitch of part 1, and did a chain 1, and now I can cut the yarn. Now this is part 1 of the letter U done. Now I need to do the second one, and I'm gonna start here. So I need to go into the 9th stitch from the right side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I need to go into the 9th stitch from this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the first stitch is actually a decrease. That means I just did a slip stitch. I'm gonna do a chain 1 to go up into the next row. And from the same stitch where I currently am in, I'm gonna just take the front loop. Now from the next stitch I'm gonna go through both loops and make a decrease. Now that's the first one. Now I need to do 7 more single crochets. And I'm gonna have 8 stitches at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, the beginning tail, I'm working it into my work. And now I need 22 rows of just 8 single crochets until on this side as well I come up to row number 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm gonna just count the rows, how many I have. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I need 13 more rows of 8 single crochets. I need a few more rows, so let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and up to 23 is 7 more rows. I'm just gonna count the rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need one more row. That's gonna be row number 30, and then the first letter U will be done. Now I'm gonna do a chain 1, and I can cut the yarn. And the first letter U is done. Now I'm gonna make another one and then I'm gonna join them together. I'm gonna begin the same. The base will be chain of 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm doing a chain 1, and in the second loop from the hook I'm gonna do an increase, just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now I need to do single crochets until I get to the last stitch, and then there I'm gonna do an increase again. Altogether at the end of row number 1 I'm gonna have 16 stitches. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is 13, 14, and the last stitch is 15, 16 is an increase. Now I need 4 more rows doing increases in the beginning and increases at the end. So the first stitch is an increase and the last stitch will also be an increase. Now the last stitch is an increase, meaning I need to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. I'm doing a chain 1 to go up into the next row, and again in the beginning it's an increase, single crochet till the last stitch, and then making an increase again. The last stitch, an increase, chain 1. Now the first stitch is an increase. I'm on row number 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the beginning I do an increase and at the end of the row I do another increase, and then I need just 1 more row like that. That's the increase. Now chain 1, an increase in the beginning, and single crochets till the end, where the last stitch will be again an increase. Now the last stitch, an increase. Now rows number 6 and 7 are gonna be just single crochets from start to finish. And another row with just single crochets from start to finish. Now the next row is already the reduction, so it's gonna be 7 single crochets and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a decrease. And now just 8 single crochets for another 22 rows, or until I go up to row number 30. I'm just gonna count the rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So I need 7 more rows. So I'm on row number 24 now. $25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and the last row number 30. I'm just gonna double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chain 1, and I can cut the yarn. Now I need to do part 2. So in the 9th stitch from the end, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I go in with my crochet hook. I do a slip stitch, now a chain 1, and the first stitch is actually a decrease. So in the same stitch that I did a slip stitch in, I'm gonna just take the front loop of it. Now from the second next stitch, I'm gonna take both loops and go through it, and that is chain number 1 done. Sorry, stitch number 1 done, a decrease. Now I need 7 more single crochets. Altogether it's gonna be 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chain 1, turn the work around, and now I need 22 more rows of 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the last one is here. Chain 1, turn the work around. I'm just gonna count the rows. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I need 5 more rows. That's row number 19 done. I'm on row number 20. '21. Uh, 22. Now this is row number 23 or row number 30, and I'm just gonna check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I still have 8 stitches, chain 1, and I can cut the yarn. Now these are the two ewes. If I get them one on top of the other, I now know that the bottom ewe has to have all the loose ends on top, and the top ewe has to have all the loose ends on the bottom. Now you don't have to do that, you can just start with joining the two letters. I already showed you, I think, in the letter D, how you can do it without sewing in these loose ends. You just have to pay more attention when you actually join the two letters together, that all the loose ends are hidden inside. But you can do it just like this as well. Just get the starting and end tails a bit into your work, so you then don't have to worry about not taking them or not placing them, or that they are perhaps shown. So now that's the bottom ewe done. Now I have to do the top one. Now for the top one, all the loose ends have to be on the bottom. I don't have to work the tail in much because it's already secured. This just helps me with not worrying about where it is when I'm joining the two letters. Okay, so this is my two letters U done. Now I'm gonna begin in the top left corner. You can use the same color of the yarn, or you can use a contrasting color. Both looks good, to be honest. So how to begin? A slip stitch, a chain 1 and a single crochet through both of the letters. Now I'm in the corner stitch. A corner stitch is a 90-degree one, so that means I'm gonna do a chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch just to turn the corner. And now I'm just crocheting single crochets all the way down. Now, depending on the yarn size and the size of your hook, the letters can be a bit bigger or a bit smaller. With my 2.5mm hook, I think they're gonna be around 12 to 13 centimeters high. But when I'm using my 3.5mm hook and just a bit thicker yarn, they can come up to 15 centimeters as well. Now I'm here in the corner stitch. I'm just gonna do 2 single crochets in the same stitch, just to turn it a bit more. And now just continuing with single crochets till the other side. Do try aligning them and holding them tight together so you don't lose a stitch. Now this is my corner stitch. I'm gonna do just 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and now just single crochets all the way around. Again here until I come to the corner stitch, just single crochets in the corner stitch. Because it's a 90-degree one, I'm gonna do a single crochet, a chain 1 and a single crochet. this is my corner stitch. That means single crochet, chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch. And now just single crochets over the top. I'm at the corner stitch again. That means I'm gonna do a single crochet, a chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch just to turn the corner, the 90-degree corner. Now this is gonna be an inner corner. In this inner corner I'm gonna do a slip stitch. But before I get to there, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna fill this part up. Just getting all the loose ends in. And now I can continue. Just stuff as you go, because it's much easier to stuff as you go. Otherwise, how are you gonna do the stuffing in the corner? So this is a single crochet. Now in the corner I'm gonna do a slip stitch. And now just single crochets on the bottom. Again, in the corner I'm gonna do a slip stitch and turning the corner, single crochets up again. And I'm gonna again fill this part in the bottom here. And now just single crochets a bit up. Now I'm gonna go up, all the way up, and then stuff it just before I turn the corner. Now if you're using a much thicker yarn and a larger crochet hook, you're gonna have a much bigger opening at the top to fill the letter up. Or if you have smaller fingers than me, that helps as well. So I'm just gonna fill the letter up. I need just a little bit. Okay, and now I can turn the corner and finish at the top. Now this is my corner stitch, single crochet, chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch just to turn the corner, and now single crochet till the beginning. That's my last stitch. I'm gonna cut the yarn, pull the yarn through. Again, I did it again. And then I'm not gonna go into the first stitch, I'm gonna go into the second stitch because the invisible join is actually just overlapping the first stitch. So I go into the second stitch and I go back to where I came from, and you can see an invisible join. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my work with actually both of my loose ends, and now I'm gonna do a knot. I'm pulling it just a bit because when I then stretch my work, it kind of disappears in it. Now all I have to do is get the loose ends in and cut the yarn, distribute the filling a bit more, and this is the crochet letter U done. I hope to see you soon, and until then I'm gonna say happy crafting!